Forget the Hollywood gloss and straight white teeth, we'd rather have grey skies, dingy pubs and dodgy slang.
Now you're talking.
Welcome to Watch Mojo UK, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 signs you're watching a British movie. Many of the United Kingdom's iconic films fail to acknowledge any sort of life outside the capital, forever perpetuating the myth that the UK is just London surrounded by a bunch of fields. Whether it's the Hugh Grant-dominated 1990s rom-coms, or some sort of quirky, happy-go-lucky family film in which they all cram into a Zone 1 townhouse, you are guaranteed to see plenty of the city. And what British film wouldn't be complete without those much-used establishing shots of Big Ben and the Houses of Parliament? We Brits sure like to see our on-screen everyman rising up against the odds and succeeding at their impossible tasks, whether it's getting the girl, in some way proving themselves, or just generally saving the day. Self-deprecating, awkward, and extremely over-British at times, they're the ones who grow in self-belief as the movie progresses while still remaining lovable and down-to-earth. If these guys can do it, anyone can. We've all heard of the so-called North-South divide, but British films seem particularly determined to hammer home the supposed split.
Thought you didn't like school.
I don't, but it don't mean to say I like work, does it?
For those movies that aren't set in and around the townhouses of central London, there are the lengthy terraces and regional accents of the North and the Midlands. Life in these towns and cities is often depicted as cold, grey and working class. Just think of most Shane Meadows or Ken Loach films ever made. But that's why they're loved.
There you go. Now you can go back to your desk and let us sign on and do the job that the taxpayer pays you for.
These films show something a little bit more real about the UK, proving we aren't all high tea and Hugh Grant. So much for hopeful Hollywood endings. British films typically take the fairy tale idea of living happily ever after and run it over repeatedly in a vintage Mini Cooper. Focusing on realism first and foremost, you know you're watching a British movie when the story isn't always a happy one. In these cases, we often follow some sort of emotional journey, or it could be that the protagonist is tortured and bullied, such as in Kes and This Is England. But if you're expecting to see all their problems disappear, sadly you're in for a shock. Because life's not always like that, and British movies bring the bleak in a big way.
I'm cleaning up and I'm moving on, going straight and choosing life. I'm looking forward to it already.